Hello friends, welcome in this stretching session. Today I'm just going to show you 4 different stretches for tight hamstrings. And before we start, if you have any yoga blocks like this for support or a big book as well you can use for that, we'll be using that and also a strap. And if you don't have a strap, it can be a belt of anything elastic like that, okay? But if you don't have those at all, it's okay. All the stretches are adjustable for all different levels. All right, so one important thing as well before we start, before I show you these stretches, is that tight hamstrings. Hamstring is a very big muscle, right, at the back of the thigh. And tight hamstrings are very often a sign that you also have tight glutes or a tight lower back. So very often tight hamstring is connected to a sciatica nerve, right? So in one of our stretches we'll be also use nerve gliding, which is really important to remember, to also release the nerves instead of straining them, because sometimes when we are stretching we are pushing too hard, we are forcing the muscles, and that's why the muscles hurt and they don't want to stretch more. And it's also really important not only to stretch the muscles but also to strengthen. Both of them are so important, stretching and strengthening, right? So today we focus on stretching, and our first stretch, we are just going to come on supported knee. One knee is bent on the floor and the other foot is down on the floor here. So here under the knee you can put a little pillow, a little blanket, just to support the knee. And this one is in front, all right? So you can walk even a little bit more to the front and hands on the waist. We're going to inhale. Very important to keep your back straight, and then exhale, slowly start lowering down. And here what a lot of people do is already rolling their back like this, right? No, remember, try to keep extending. Imagine like from the bottom of your spine to the top of your head, you are extending to the front and bringing your belly closer to your thigh. So this is a pretty gentle stretch here on your hamstring. So always the muscles work in pairs. One of the muscles is in flexion and one of the muscle is in extension. So here the hamstring is stretching and the quadricep is more engaged. You can place your hands on the floor if you reach to the floor without rolling your back, or you can also support with the blocks as well, like that, yeah, and going lower. And try to really push the foot towards the floor, so engaging the foot. And now when you keep your hands on the floor, you can also play here a little bit by lifting the foot off the mat and pressing it down. Lifting and pressing. Lifting, engage, and press. Okay? And now we're going to move to our second stretch, which is a half split. Okay, so for this stretch, if you have a very tight hamstrings, probably you can't reach with your hands to the floor with your straight leg. So you either take the blocks like this, or like I said before, some books or some support, or you can also keep this knee gently bent, okay? And here the foot, instead of being down all the way and more to the front, the foot is elevated, so the toes towards you. So here is a little bit more intense stretch, and it's really important as well that your hips are squared. So if this right leg is in front, moving the right hip back, left hip forward, hands, fingertips on the mat or on your blocks, okay? And here we are holding. Again, if this is causing some big discomfort, remember to bend your knee a little bit and keep the extension of your back. And going lower, breathing deeply. Remember, the breath is such an important part of every stretch. Maybe not a lot of people mention that, during some exercises, but when we go to deeper stretches, breath is most important. Alright, so this is our second stretch. Try it on both sides and hold it at least for 6 deep breaths. Deep breath is slow breath in and full breath out. Okay, so now we're gonna prepare the strap. Going to lie down on your back. This is going to be our third stretch. So lying down on the back, keeping one knee bent and lifting the other knee up, supporting from the back of your thigh. And we're going to start with the nerve glides. It's so important because when we work with the nerves, it's a more gentle work. It's not as intense as with the muscles. So sometimes this little movement can really help to improve your flexibility. Sometimes some nerves got trapped. They just need to slide and glide. They need to be released. Do it at least 10 times on each side. And now, if you have a strap, grab a strap and just put it on in the middle of your foot. And now you can still keep your knee gently bent, or you can try to extend. So this is more intense. Notice how it feels for you, okay? If you have the strap, it's just so much better here to regulate the intensity as well. And also you can bend the knee and then extend it. So here for a few breaths, try to stay in the static stretch, in the passive stretch, without moving. And like I said, if you don't have the strap or a belt, you can just support from the back, on the back of your knee, and bringing the leg closer and closer to you. Remember to always do it on both sides. Same amount of breaths, or maybe if you feel like one of your hamstrings is so much more tense, you can just hold it a little bit longer. Amazing. And now we're moving to number 4. So number 4 is seated forward fold. So all the stretches we're doing are to go deeper, to standing forward fold, but all of them are so useful in so many other exercises as well, right? So here again, the legs are straight or can be gently bent. Lift the arms up. First, just reach forward and then relax. So maybe here you don't feel much stretch on the back of your legs if your knees are elevated. Place them lower. You can place a block underneath your knees like this, or a pillow to support your knees. This is really good idea as well. Or you can also use a strap as well. And slowly going lower. So really important in our forward folds is that we keep the back straight, that we don't start rolling, because a lot of you start doing like this, okay? When you do like this, you don't feel much stretch in your legs and your back is going in the wrong direction, okay? So keeping your back straight and then reaching. Doesn't matter if you don't reach the toes. You don't have to reach the toes. You can just place your hands on your knees, on your shins, and slowly going lower. Okay, try a few times like that. Try like this, try with some support. You can even be sitting like this and simply bringing the toes towards you. This is also engaging of the toes, is engaging the calves and the hamstrings even more. So remember to breathe deeply and to relax in the stretches. It's so important to relax. When your body is not relaxed, you really can't go deeper. Okay, and one additional stretch, just the last one, which we all know from yoga, is our downward dog, and it's an amazing stretch for the whole body. So this is just addition when you want to go a little bit deeper. And again, in downward dog, if you can't reach the heels to the floor, it's completely fine. Just bend your knees, lift your hips up, and then try to straighten and let go of your heels. You can do it a few times. Bend the knees, lift the hips up, and bring the heels down. All right, and now we're going to walk to our forward fold. So when we start folding down, again, it's so important that we start folding from the hips. So we slowly go lower. We don't do like this. A lot of us as well do like, they try to dive down. They're diving down. Okay, this is a little bit different stretch. So instead of that, keep the knees gently bent, hands on the waist, on your hips. Inhale, exhale, start going lower. It's like you're pushing your bum behind to the back and you're bringing your upper body lower. Your belly to your thighs. Then your ribs and your chest. And you stop here. And now letting go of your hands. So maybe your hands can touch the floor. Then you can start to straighten your legs and go a little bit lower. Remember, upper body relaxed. Or if you're not reaching, again, some support. It's really good to use support to keep the pose, to keep the proper adjustment of the posture. You know, sometimes our ego is not allowing us to use some of the blocks because, oh, this is only for beginners. No, this is for everyone. So blocks are really amazing here. Keep the back straight. You can go lower, you can go this way, and relax, looking towards your knees or even towards your belly button, and just totally relaxing lower and lower. Inhale deeply and exhale fully. And don't forget to stretch in the opposite direction. So if you have done a lot of forward folds, just make sure you make a counter pose. So opening the chest, opening the shoulders, and opening your heart space. Inhale and exhale. All right, thank you so much for joining me today for these exercises. Remember to keep staying consistent with your practice, to repeat on each side, and I hope your hamstrings will get stronger and more flexible as well. I invite you to try some of my yoga classes. A lot of my yoga practices here are really amazing to stretch the tired and tense legs. Thank you so much. Namaste.